Welcome back to Fast Shit Performance then. My name is Tim Davies. And who is the doctor they told you to go and see? That's right, Dr. FJP. And I'm back in session bringing you the medication for the nation as we talk about the degradation of standards in public life. That's right, Angela Rayner, the Wicked Witch of the North, has resigned. Let's get into it. And guys, I use Ground News. They do sponsor this channel. Look, I'll do an advert in the middle of this one, but basically I'll just go and find the story on that, click on it there. I can jump straight to it and get see who is doing what with all the stories. I'm going to click on one of these then, and we're going to have a look at this straight away. Rayner resigns. Angela Rayner steps down after Telegraph tax dodged in... I can't say it. I can't say the word submarine. Tax dodge. Tax dog. Say it, you say it. Tax dog. I can't say promotion. Anyway, she dodged some taxes. Shut up. Shut up. Deputy Prime Minister steps down after Telegraph reveals she underpaid stamp duty on the new 800,000 seaside flat. That's some big money rocking on there for a flat, isn't it? Fair play to the girl. You know, she's done well, isn't she? Either way, she's out of a job now. How's she going to afford to pay that? And it came after revealed that a conveyancing firm she had used went public to say it had been made scapegoats and did not give her tax advice. This is the issue we've got right now with our public sector. Now we can have a look at the letter she published if you want. There's not really in this apart from I always did my best. I regret my decision not to seek additional specialist tax advice given my position as housing secretary, if you can believe that, and my complex family arrangements. She does have complex. She takes full responsibility for this error. But either way, she's out, mate. I mean, it's a pretty damaging thing because she's always talked about how important standards are. And she's always criticised the Conservative Party for how poor their standards were. I've got a funny feeling I know what's going on. Let's have a look at this then. So this is like someone in the civil service. I'll make myself smaller here, mate. Look. Okay, this guy's obviously saying for any journalist reading this is not true. I'm going to talk to you about the public sector and why I left the public sector, why I don't work there anymore. And this actually goes on to kind of jobs in general, if you think about it. I run businesses now. Sometimes I'm up in my businesses and sometimes I'm down. I'm going to play you some films after this. All right, I need some advice. This is my first public sector job. I've just hit the year mark. I'm in SEO and digital. I have nothing to do. In my past year, we've delivered not a single thing. Not one project. This is what I found. This is why I left the FCAS project, the Future Combat Air System, Tempest. It just wasn't going anywhere when I was with it. We scope out stuff. It drags on forever. Priorities shift. And then we scope out something new. You never finish anything. That's the problem. You never get anything done. That's the whole problem with the public sector. Now, a guy actually wrote something down here in the comments. He said here, the civil service is at least twice the size it needs to be. And George Osborne proved it. It's just a big daycare centre that allows the government to print fake unemployment numbers whilst inflating house prices in London. That's a very valid thing to say. Same as the NHS, a mass employment and wealth redistribution centre first and foremost, the healthcare service second. And of course, if you do employ people, as we know, especially at public expense, they do take money, they go buy TVs, they go and buy the car, the money keeps turning, doesn't it? But eventually, of course, what happens is we get to big government. And what does big government cause? It causes poverty throughout. Whereas small government, of course, causes entrepreneurship. And the rise of the capitalist individuals such as yourself is going to make loads of money by listening to my channel, mate. And of course, many of the things that this government sort of prioritises, and well, it's not crime, is it? They prioritise on sort of migrants coming in, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to sensationalise this channel, but every person going through these turnstiles for free is costing us all money. This isn't a fear factor channel. I'm telling you it's not. But look, free travel for the youth. Everyone comes through. Where's that money? Look at that, holding it open, everyone coming in. You're paying extra, I'm paying extra, and standards are being lowered. And this really is why Angela Rayner had to step down. She used to criticise people a lot for their failing standards, and of course she's shown that herself then, isn't she? And look at this, I've said a classic case of you'll get the standards you walk by. Now, when these men go and order a pastry or whatever, there'll be none left, of course. How did this happen? They will cry over their soy lattes. Back up and step up. And of course, what they're here is a man just collecting stuff off the shelf and stepping out. That dude's got his handful. You can take him down. Back up and step up. Look around you. Hello, mate. You all right? Yeah, you all right, mate? We got this. There's three of us now. There's one of him. Take him out. What people have said about this in the comments, such as whether this person is here, well, Ukraine flag in the bio, EU flag should tell you everything about this man you need to know. Do not promote risking life for corporations. It's like you want people to risk their lives in bank robbery. It's all insured. Let police handle it. Do not get harm you or others. Obviously, that guy's got a speech impediment there. He's given me a speech impediment, to be fair. I say, look, I do it for society, not for businesses, mate. I couldn't care less if I'm in a Greggs and someone's nicking stuff. Well, I'll take that guy down 110%. Not because it's a Greggs, not because it's a business, but because you will get the society that you walk past. That is exactly what I'm trying to say on this channel. The standards you walk past are the standards you accept. And I'm talking about this being England, mate. You know how I think about it. I walk around picking up litter the whole time. Why? Because I don't want to live in a country full of litter. It just is. I don't want to live in a country where guys are stealing stuff from the bakery section. So I will stop that person. And no, I will not get myself stabbed. And if I do, well, I'm hoping someone else is going to come up and challenge him as well. Look, what do you want to live in? Because if you don't tackle it now, you're going to have to tackle it later. And it's not going to be you tackling it, mate. It's going to be your children. Why risk that for a multinational company that relies on mass immigration to suppress wage growth to increase profit? Mate, get out of the UK. I don't want people like you in the UK. Because we're not doing it to promote their profit, mate. We're doing it to make sure we have a safe society. Why can't people see this? There's madness in the air right now. And those are the kind of people we're talking about going, oh, they're making loads of money. They can afford a little bit of crime. This is the problem, isn't it? So these are the led by donkey. I don't know who these people are. Led by donkey people, lefties, aren't they? With soy lattes and everything else. That cry all the time as it is about people like Liv's Trust and everything else and the anti-conservatism, anti-capitalism, but they haven't ever said anything at all on the lies that Starmer's been pushing. MPs enabling migrant, Ukrainian, that is a thing. Chancellor who lied on her CV, business secretary, fake being a solicitor, deputy PM and avoided tax. You know, they never talk about that at all. These are the men that are doing more damage to our society than anything else that you're seeing out there. Because these are the guys that are promoting the crime. This is a migrant in Germany upset with a man because the man won't give him any money, apparently. So this is what we're getting. And this is a tantrum. How do you control this? Well, don't have him in the country in the first place, mate. You know what I mean? Look what you maybe do. I don't know whether you say that. Take the back. Control. That's a danger, mate. A quick advert for Ground News, who sponsor this channel, luckily, because YouTube ain't giving me no money, fam. You know what I'm talking about. All the stories you'll find on the front page here that are current. However, you can search for stuff in the bar at the top. When you click on a story, then it will show you here, look, what's left-leaning, centre, or right-leaning. It's a right-leaning story. Let's click on it. And then straight away, it gives you a summary at the top there. All the stories here, down there. You can even expand it for more articles if you want at the bottom. On the right here, it shows that there's 34 articles. There's 5 left, 14 right, and then there's 5 centre. Below it then, the bias distribution shows that this is a right-leaning article. And you can see here, Fox News, Israel, all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Here, factuality, expand that. You can see which ones are more factually correct than others, and so you can see who owns it as well. Where are your biases in this? Click on the article if you want. You'll go straight to that website then, and at the top you can see there's a bar that drops down as well, again showing where these biases are. You can then look at left-leaning articles and right-leaning articles and not get sidetracked by the mainstream media. 40% off, thank me later. And as I've said, you're going to get the society you tolerate, mate. And listen, here it goes. Look, so there's a lady up here in Dearborn Heights Police Department in America. I follow the police departments in America very closely. I come from a police family over here, so obviously you know, I know a lot of police officers in America as well. Good people try and do the right thing for their neighborhoods as best they possibly can, of course, in a very difficult and challenging environment. But look at this right now. The Dearborn Heights Police Department has revealed the nation's first ever officer uniform patch featuring Arabic script. Mate, you let this go now. If you don't stop this now in its tracks, it will continue. Oh, you know how I am with Islam. Listen, don't give it an inch. You give it an inch, it will take a mile. And then someone wrote underneath it, it makes sense if you know who you are. Basically, it's now under the authority of a new police chief, Amar Ada, and there's an official to patch for this. I mean, look at this patch, guys. You know, none of this. You don't want any of this. This cannot happen. This is not possible. You're not allowing this into the United States of America. We're not allowing this into the UK either. This asylum seeker immediately arrived in Japan, started throwing a tantrum because they all do. The Japanese, they're going the same way as us. They really are. You know, they're inviting loads of immigrants into their country, as we know. And basically grabbed him, put him back on the airplane and sent him home. Good people. You stand up against these people, back up and step up. Get people aligned with you, step up against them. What's that? Why is it happening? Are you interested in IQ? Is that what you're asking me? IQ? Yeah, it's something I've been saying for a long time. I once spoke to an Israeli professor about people in Palestine. He was like, the problem that we got in negotiation is that there's a level of education that exists in Israel that doesn't exist in Palestine. And I've been saying this for a long time. Hypothetical conditionals are unavailable to IQs below about the late 80s. I think about 86, 87. And explains many problems countries are having with immigration. Not just hypotheticals, as this guy says down here. Hyperbole, sarcasm, jokes, the ability to comprehend these concepts vanishes as you slide down the scale. This is why we have problems with free speech debate. They don't understand the language tools that most of us use. You might as well explain quantum physics to a toaster. Very clever man. Absolutely right. Look at this. I'll make myself small. And this is average IQ by nation then. And you can see at the top, as you expect, a lot of Asian countries with high level of education are right up there with high IQs. IQs don't determine everything, but you know what I mean, they are quite a good indicator of how well a country is going to do, especially economically. Working ourselves down then, we get some pretty prosperous countries in Europe, Switzerland, Austria, Netherlands, this kind of thing, China, that kind of stuff. Then we get like Canada is in there for some reason. I thought Canada wasn't that clever, to be fair, because they kept Trudeau in power for ages. Then they elected Mark Carney, a mental country. Ireland, Sweden, Australia, UK's in there, Russia's in there as well. And then we start dropping down as we go in there. America's there, blah, 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 blah. Some other countries, Italy. And at the very bottom, of course, what we're getting then are sort of, you see Qatar, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Philippines, India, Egypt, Pakistan. Right at the problem. Who was it that was going around? I have to say the word abuse on here. I can't say the correct word. Young British girls. It was Pakistani Muslim gangs, wasn't it? And right down there, and this is what I've said, sometimes we bring people into this country that we literally cannot communicate with effectively. And I want to show you some other videos, but they involve a lot of people with knives sort of practicing and stuff, and I can't show them on the channel here. The videos don't get put up, guys, but look, they just cause me strikes. Here, look, there's been 2 Turkish migrants arrested in Italy before they get open fire on 40,000 Christians. There's a battle going on. You can choose which side you want to be on it. If you want to leave the country, by all means, leave the country. Just don't come back, mate. I've said it before. We need all good men, all Christian men on the ground here to fight this one. And I see it as the 10th crusade. I see the fight against Islam in the UK or in the West is the fight that we have to look at. And as Jim says, he's right, exactly that. Unless we uphold the standards in our own countries, guys, it's going to happen more and more. It's not an isolated case. The 7/7 bombings in London, of course. In Paris, the Bataclan, all that kind of stuff. We've seen it many, many times before. Of course, we're welcoming these people into our country to do us unknown damage. So I'll leave you with this, guys, okay? And I would just say, if you do get a chance to hit that sponsor in the middle of the video, Ground News, helps the channel out massively. In fact, it's the main way that I get any kind of revenue for making videos like this. But my warning to you is, uphold the standards of fitness, family, finance, fuel, and faith. Okay, we can talk about that more if you want to talk about it in my school the whole time. We're going to listen to Angela Rayner now on the hypocrisy, and this is what has to go in government. You cannot tolerate this, and this is why this woman had to walk.
In public life should mean upholding the highest standards of ethics and integrity. But the cronyism, sleaze, and scandal we've seen over the past decade has undermined trust in politics and public life at home and abroad. Misconduct and sleaze has a direct impact on a government's ability to deliver for the public. Transparent and accountable government is key to delivery. Cleaning up politics is about ensuring government actually delivers for the people.
Yeah, something called the Nolan Principle. She didn't read that one, did she? All right, love you guys lots, okay? I really appreciate the attention here and you watching the channel. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.